Thank you so much, Deputy Speaker. And I also rise to speak on the Social Services and Other Legislation Amendment Workforce Incentive Bill. And Deputy Speaker, I'm very pleased to be speaking on this bill today because it really reflects and recognises the importance that this government places on our older Australians and the high respect that we hold them in. And as members, all members in this House, we would all, of course, have the privilege and honour of representing communities with older Australians. These are the people who built our nation, they've worked hard, raised their families, paid their taxes, and they should be treated with dignity and respect. And that's exactly what the Albanese government is doing. We understand our older Australians and are committed to restoring dignity to them. The fact is it's only our government who will protect the pension, who will support those in aged care, provide cheaper medicines for our seniors, and also provide a means to be able to earn more whilst not impacting their pension. We know how important this is, Deputy Speaker. And of course, our commitment to providing older Australians with real support includes a whole suite of measures, one of which is our workforce incentive, or the one-off increase in the work bonus income bank. We want to ensure that our older Australians have the option, if they wish to or they want to, take up work or work some more. And this bill will ensure that our older Australians have the option to take up shorter-term or intermittent work or help older Australians remain in the workforce without fear or losing access to their pension. We know that is a major concern, and that's why we're acting. We also know that our seniors, our older Australians, have a wealth of experience and they have highly skilled working backgrounds. And that's why our one-off income credit will act as an incentive for them, for those who do want to work, whilst also allowing an immediate boost to the supply of workers. And we know this will help in addressing the skills shortage as well. Of course, we know this is throughout the country, particularly in regional areas like mine. It is indeed a real challenge, and I know, speaking to many seniors in my area, they're very pleased with the government acting so swiftly on this. They think it's really important for those that would like to do some of that occasional or short-term work, but also for local businesses too have really been very positive about this move and the difference that it will make, particularly in terms of the extent of the skills crisis that we see, and particularly for those of us in regional Australia, how much more we are feeling it. Now, Deputy Speaker, the government's Jobs and Skills Summit, which was held earlier this year, saw this government come together with all the states and territories, businesses, community leaders, unions, to discuss ways that we can boost the labour supply in order to meet the current shortages. And I really commend the Prime Minister and the Treasurer for hosting the really important Jobs and Skills Summit. That's the approach of this government, working right across the board with people to get outcomes. And that's exactly what happened. From that summit, there were indeed many positive outcomes. And one of the outcomes was we announced that we'd give older Australians the option to work and earn more. And of course, it came out of that summit. It's also what we've heard from older Australians. We've heard it from many of their advocacy groups as well, because we listen to what the community and what people were saying and work with them. So, as I say, we've provided this now, and pensioners will be able to earn an additional $4,000 without losing any of their pension through the one-off increase in their work bonus income bank. The bill strengthens existing incentives for people over pension age to take up work or increase the number of hours they work if they want to do so. It's an option that they have if that's what they choose to do. Now, Deputy Speaker, at present, only around 3% of aged pensioners earn income from employment. And by providing these incentives and increasing opportunities to work more without a penalty, even a marginal increase in the number of older Australians in work will, of course, benefit those who do want to work and, of course, our local businesses, our local economies. It will assist so much. And the $4,000 increase will be added to the work bonus income bank of pensioners. Specifically, this will increase the amount pensioners can earn from $7,800 to $11,800 before their pension is reduced. And the one-off increase will give our older Australians the option to both work and keep more of their money, and that's what they've been telling us that they want to do. Now, the work bonus allows pensioners over pension age to earn an extra $300 per fortnight from work before the income test is actually applied. The combination of the income-free area and work bonus means, for example, a single-age pensioner with no other income could earn up to $490 per fortnight from work before their payments actually begin to reduce. Pensioners are able to build up any unused amount of the $300 fortnightly concession in a work bonus income bank, which is also vitally important. And this amount can be used to exempt future earnings from the pension income test. And it means that a pensioner could choose to do intermittent or seasonal work and still benefit from the work bonus. So it's designed to fit the requirements of our seniors and what they've told us they need in terms of their work commitments or the opportunities that they would have. As I said, from commencement, aged pensioners, disability support pension and carer payment recipients over aged pension age, as well as certain veterans entitlement recipients over qualifying age, will have $4,000 credited to their work bonus income bank. And as I say, Deputy Speaker, many I know in my community and throughout the country have really welcomed this in terms of a very positive step by the government to providing those incentives for our older Australians. The other important part about this bill, the second key part of the bill, means that those on the pension do not have to reapply for payments for up to 2 years if their employment income exceeds the income limit. Because currently the case is that aged pensioners with employment income whose total income exceeds the income limit have their pension cancelled after 12 weeks, and that is the current situation. Instead, now, what will actually happen is their payment will be suspended for a period up to 2 years, and if during the 2-year period the income is at a level where they can become payable again, an abridged process would assist their return to the aged pension. And that is a much more reasonable and feasible way to move forward for our seniors, a much better way to do it. It corrects the current system where social security payments were cancelled after 12 weeks of exceeding the income limit, hence they're having to start the process again when they were eligible. So having this abridged version makes it a lot easier. And really, really importantly, Deputy Speaker, to further remove barriers to older Australians re-entering the workforce, pensioners will also retain access to their concession card, and that is vitally important for them to be able to have this to access so many services. So we have listened and we have acted. And Deputy Speaker, we are delivering on our commitment to support older Australians right across the board, and we've been doing that since day one of the election of the Albanese Labor government. Firstly, we had the pension increase, the largest indexation increases to payments in more than 12 years for pensions, very much welcomed by pensioners. And since we've been in government, as I say, we've already ensured that more of our older Australians can gain access to the Seniors Healthcare Card, allowing eligible seniors and self-funded retirees to receive a number of beneficial health concerns. And this has been very, very widely welcomed. I know in my electorate, and I'm sure electorates right throughout the country, so many more people are eligible for that Seniors Health Card. It is so vitally important, and it's been something that many people in my community have raised for a very long period of time. We're also delivering cheaper prescription medicines because we know the maximum cost for medications on the PBS has doubled since 2000. So we're ensuring that millions of Australians will pay 30% less for PBS scripts. Again, a major concern of our seniors. In addition, we've introduced legislation to help incentivise our pensioners to downsize by reducing the impact of selling or buying a new home. And this measure will allow more time for recipients to complete the process of purchasing their new home without the proceeds being subject to the assets test. And of course, this government, the Albanese government, committed to freezing deeming rates at current levels for 2 years through to the end of June 2024, again an issue that had been raised with us by seniors. And of course, Deputy Speaker, through our successful repeal of the cashless debit card, we put a stop to the former government's harsh plans to force aged pensioners onto that card. So we have shown time and time again how committed we are to restoring dignity for our older Australians and actually delivering for them. And we are doing that through so many measures, whether it be on the health front or whether it be on the work bonus or providing those incentives to downsize. We listen to our seniors and we do act. And, Deputy Speaker, I must say, hearing some of the speakers in relation to this bill, I mean, they had 9 years and they didn't do anything. They didn't actually do anything. So it's taken our government. We've had to correct a decade of the Liberal Nationals' waste, mismanagement and incompetence. That's what we saw. And in fact, the opposition has no credibility when it comes to supporting our pensioners, because we saw time and time again, we saw when we were here, they routinely made cuts to the pension, they froze the pension rates, they shortchanged pensioners with their deeming rates. We saw that on many occasions. And in fact, Deputy Speaker, you and many members of this House would remember in 2015 what the Liberals and Nationals did a deal with the Greens to actually cut the pension for around 370 older Australians by actually changing the pension assets test. Well, the pensioners certainly remember it. I remember it at the time because of the anger in the community about the fact that it happened. So when we see any of these members from the opposition standing up today lecturing us, they had 9 years. When did they do it? They didn't. Instead, what they did was make it harder for our pensioners by their cuts that we constantly saw. But, Deputy Speaker, we are committed to constantly helping our older Australians whenever we can. Indeed, in all of those measures that I spoke about, and particularly in the area of aged care as well, we have acted so swiftly, because it's only an Albanese Labor government that supports our older Australians. They were let down by a decade of mismanagement and waste under the former government, but we are committed to fixing that. And the bill before us today works to support and better support those seniors who do want to work, gives them greater capacity to work, and also expands the workforce at a time of labour shortages. And we know how vital it is to do that. And, Deputy Speaker, we have listened to our older Australians. We always have. We've always fought for them, and since being in government we have continued to deliver, and these workforce incentives is the latest measure we're absolutely committed to delivering. So if they do want to work a bit more, they can do that, and they won't have their pension impacted by it. And, Deputy Speaker, I commend the bill to the House.
The question